Hi everyone, it's me again, and I'm wearing the same outfit. I'm sorry, I'm videoing these all on the same day, so I apologize if I'm boring, but hopefully they're short and sweet and get to the point. Today I want to talk about mathematical progressions. You know, as we're reading about these effective mathematical practices that are put forth by the Council of Math Teachers, there isn't a particular one that says that knowing mathematical progressions is paramount. That is something that I am saying, and I'm taking it from my experience and from the mathematical practices. The first mathematical practice talks about how important it is to establish mathematics goals to focus learning. And, if we don't know the math that comes before, we're not going to be able to help kids get to a clear target. And so what I want you to think about is, even if you have a program for math and it tells you your learning target, you still need to be able to pull out what are the baby steps to get there. If you want a clear target for kids, you need to be clear for yourself. In order to analyze something, you need to be able to identify it. You need to be able to explain it. Then maybe you can analyze it. If you want kids to subtract 3-digit numbers, what are the baby steps to get there? You have to be able to identify, which one is the bigger number? Is this a comparison problem? Is this a difference problem? So kind of digging in yourself. So that is why I want you to watch some of the video on mathematical progressions. So I want you to read the mathematical progressions documents that were used to create the Common Core standards. The Common Core standards are written in a progression, and so it's important to understand the why behind all of that. So your assignment this week is within the slideshow there's a problem in there that I want you to backwards design and say what does the kid need to reach this, to be successful with this problem, all the way back to counting and cardinality if you can, is the goal. And then kind of reflect on that. But that's all in there. I want to talk a little bit more about mathematical progressions. We all want to know that what we're doing is meaningful. And so when I say I think you need to know the progressions, part of that is, all these researchers have done studies, and John Hattie is a very famous one. And one of the things he talks about is teacher clarity and how effective teacher clarity is. And if you really only know what's in your bubble in your teacher manual, then your teacher clarity isn't as big as it could be. So the idea would be to expand your teacher clarity. It has an effect size of 7,500. So that's a big deal. That's a lot. That'll grow kids the more clear you are. The other thing is, in our article that we read last week, kind of want to build off of that. It talks about, the importance of the progression, knowing the progression, but it also talks about how with these clear goals, a planning session is kind of the place where all this starts. And we're all so busy, and we spend so much of our planning time thinking, I have to cut this, and I have to get this, and you make these copies. And planning session is about activities. This is the activity that we're going to do. And so kind of pushing yourself to change the way that you look at your math planning sessions to a model or a philosophy of, what are the steps to get kids to understand this subtraction strategy that I'm working on. And so really flipping that focus, and it was in the article, but I'm trying to bring it back up because it takes a while to kind of process these things of how can we switch how we think about planning from these are the activities to this is the deep understanding and these are the steps. And I can speak to this. I recently taught a lesson, one day in one fifth grade classroom and the next day in another fifth grade classroom. And just by having that clarity of teaching it the first time and realizing I didn't get where I needed to be, it helped me to pull out of the teacher's manual, what the actual steps are to get to the deep understanding. And so we just need to kind of flip that switch of being clear on what we teach and how we're going to get kids there. So that's why I want you to look at the mathematical progression videos. The other thing is looking at number strings and number talks. I think that they are a good mathematical strategy to get kids engaged, and so I want you to kind of, Google it if you have to, and find out a little bit more about those things so that you can share with our classmates. Hope this makes sense, and as usual, you can email me and ask questions, and have a good day. Happy mathing!